to go over some of the policies that we're going to look into placing into our district. So I'll give the floor to you, Leela.
So we're going to address some policies. We're going to address some policies that came up during our audit that had not been updated since 2009. The first policy I want to address is 6320.
Mr. President, before we move on, can we just take a roll call for the record?
Oh, sure. We'll go ahead with a roll call vote. Trustee Gomez,
Present.
Trustee Gibson King,
Present.
Trustee Rodriguez, and then Trustee Smith.
Present.
And Trustee Smith is present over Zoom. And Trustee Rodriguez is not here tonight. All right. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So 6320 is in the finance section, and it is the purchase. So the first copy with the logo on it is our current copy. The second copy is what I'm proposing. Our purchase policy was like $5,000. Over the years, even by state regs, they have raised it up to $50,000. So I want to raise that, each section into more detail, raising our limit up to not to exceed 150. That's without going out for bid. And then more language that the state has put into the actual ICs. Yes. So we got cited on, Ms. Diane, I sent you your email. We got cited on our numbers being not what we were actually doing. So here is telling us that we have to have, on ours, the 3 quotes for $5,000. We were not doing that.
Right,
We were doing the quotes for $25,000.
right.
Some other where, when I came in, it was $25,000. So now the state law is up to 50, so we're going to go by what state law has, or we can bring it back down to 5,000, but then we have to request more quotes. So we got cited on our policies not matching what we're actually practicing.
Software that we use that. System change.
So this gonna be changed, right?
This will be changed after the attorney reviews it.
I'll add to that a little bit too. Just, I'm kind of piecing it together, but the 25,000 that you had in your system, that's just what that was the threshold under the prior version of Indiana code.
Yes.
That's where that came from.
Ours have not been updated since 2009, our actual.
At some point, the board lower that, which all has to be two of citations that we received, official that we received.
Why did they lower it? What board? Which board?
I'm not for sure.
I wasn't the board.
Yeah, but you don't know.
It was probably, I'm assuming it was in 2009, so.
Well, we wasn't no elected board then, so this had to be an appointed board.
Well, yeah, but, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just want, he said the board.
So with our policies not being updated in the system, they pull our policies that's on our website. Even though we're saying that we're doing it at 25,000, policy on our website said we should have did it at 5,000. We have another one like this also that we need to correct.
Yeah.
So we were being cited on what our policy said compared to what we were actually doing.
Okay.
This one sounds pretty clear cut to me.
Like I said, Jewel will have to review, make sure everything in my terminology on this one. Basically, what we did was, compare 3 districts and
Which,
Kim,
which districts?
our district, Hammond and Munster.
Okay.
Okay,
And this is, I mean, we're gonna have, remind me, do we do 2 readings of this before we, okay. All right, so we have enough time to review it before we actually.
Yes, oh,
Okay,
yes,
perfect,
Yes.
sounds good.
yes. I'm just pushing forward. This does not have to be completed to October, but I just rather go ahead on and get it done
Yeah,
now.
I
than
agree,
before.
the sooner that we get this done,
So
the
it needs to
better.
be did by October?
Yes, they have to be approved by October.
While we're all here, though, are there any initial thoughts about this that I should be aware of as I review it? Because I'm going to look at it more for form and just compliance with state law. That's pretty much it, from my perspective.
Just from,
By October?
so what I'm seeing is that it's just purely for like supplies or other types of purchasing needs.
I thought I saw a service section too, though. Yeah, the last page is purchase of services as well.
Purchase of service?
Oh, okay, 50,
Yeah.
okay.
We have 50,000?
Is there any reasons on, is this 50,000 like the minimum that we have to meet, or is this our cap?
50,000 is the cap.
Or is the cap?
It's the
Okay.
cap, yep. And then we have to make sure we have the competitive, other vendors, 3.
Okay,
Yeah, so if we service, we deal with one service and it's over, but that's the service that we've been dealing with, then we'll make the special letter saying that this is the one that we opt to be with on there. But it's best for us to have, with the new laws state basically, if I have a vendor that I deal with, like particularly, I wouldn't say Tri-Electric, I call them for all my electrical. But now, once I make the 10,000, that's the one, another one bring, once I make the 10,000 mark with them, I have to start going out for 3 bids just to have it on record.
yeah.
That's all.
bids. Three, you mean 3 bids if it's lower? I'm sorry.
3 bids because of the vendor, because we were just working with that one vendor. They don't want to make sure that
Okay.
we're just not.
Okay.
So, one thing that stood out to me, and this is just purely,
No, you're fine.
it says here that is when it talks about on page 1 of the new one, when it talks about the committee,
Yes.
must include at least 2 board members or at least 2 corporation employees.
Yes.
Well, what are we thinking in that? Are we thinking that can be left up to like the finance committee, or is this gonna be a separate committee? Well, what do you think?
So it is a separate committee.
Okay,
We can do it by finance committee, but when I hold bids at that amount, I'll alert Jewel or our attorney at the time that I'm gearing open bids.
Okay.
So, yes, and then when I open bids, I normally have 5 of committee members in there.
okay. But at least,
This time, it will be we have the request now listed as board members, 2
Okay.
board members if they're available at that time.
Oh, and then if not,
And if
then at
not, Mm-hmm.
least 2 corporation employees? Okay,
and I'd like to max it out at 5 plus the attorney
okay.
for bid openings.
True
So
corp.
is there something in here that, like, we can put, for the corporation employees, like, put like in, like administrators in there, like 2 board members or 2 administrators?
Yes.
Or, well, I don't know, because there can be, no, I think that should be fine. Okay. Yeah, so that'll be,
Usually by the type of,
the job,
procurement
okay.
that we're usually,
Okay. So we can just change that to be 2 corporation directors or administrator? Okay. Oh, yeah, it might be a principal or, okay. Should this be its own separate committee?
Yes, this is its own
Yeah.
separate, it's actually not a committee.
Or it's just,
Depends on what it is that I'm bidding out for. So now I'm going to bid out for, contractual services for design for a particular HVAC, unit. So I normally do, my maintenance director will be there. I have the electrician will be there, and then my clerk, my maintenance clerk will be in there, and then plus me and one other finance person. And I can add the 2 board members in there also.
okay.
Yep, and then, attorney. That's just because if they're a sealed bid, I want to make sure that it's totally. Sometimes we also do it by, Zoom if the person that's bidding could not be there.
Okay.
We'll have a Zoom also for them to see us opening it.
Are we good to move on to the next one? Or
Yeah,
did you-
and I was just asking if there was any initial thoughts. You still have time to do whatever you want to do with this. It's just, if I prepare another draft of it, I want to incorporate any initial thoughts. That's all.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions. When was this cited by the State Board of Accounts?
It has been, actually cited this time on the State Board of Accounts.
It's only this time?
And that's mostly because of the ESSER dollars. We were more dealing with federal dollars than anything, with the ESSER, which is federal is another whole level that we had not actually thought there were different construction laws, but there is different construction laws that we actually did not know about when we got the ESSER dollars.
So was,
Could you get us a copy of that
I think,
section of the report?
I think
And
that was-
also, where's the form of where this came from? The new one? Where did this form come from? This is the old one. This is the new one. Where did the new one come from? Where's this formatted?
it's a combination of me copying and pasting.
Okay.
So we got 2, right? We got the new one, right?
Yeah,
So-
the old one has the Cardinal logo.
Right, and then
then
the
the
new
new
one
one-
doesn't, right?
Yeah, but it was kind of.
That's what I was trying to get, okay, this is the new one,
Yeah, where I copy and paste
okay.
over to it.
And this is what we have to review here compared to this. That's what I'm trying to understand here, 'cause I seen that on Cardinal.
So,
What was your first question? It was,
The State Board of Accounts. I want to see the copy of the,
we got
Well,
an
we-
It's-
email to us.
It's on there.
I'm just trying to ask,
it's not on here.
Oh, it's, we have a copy of it. It's, we got an email.
yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to ask, 'cause I got a copy right here. Is,
Oh, I
It's-
was looking for the specific section,
yeah,
not the entire
not,
report.
yeah,
Oh.
well, I just wanna know, was it in this return, in this return? 'Cause I got
No.
the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's-
unless, did you want to quickly look at it and see if you can find what page?
Well, I'm trying to
Just-
figure out,
so
There's,
we
there's
can-
3 different ones. Did you print out
Right.
all 3?
Yeah, she has.
okay, you need to have all, yeah, because I want to know, pardon?
Gonna be your finding. The one that says dump-
Let me see.
with the-
Yeah, you're missing
in the
one.
dump is your finding. I think it was findings, like, findings number 4 or 5. This is, the findings are here.
Oh.
There's,
Okay.
got letters behind it, so I think 4 or 5 are the findings.
Correction of active plans are right here also.
I don't need those right now, but, and I was just thinking for, like, Joelle's not here. If you
I
could just have
show me the
those
page.
sent
what
to,
I'm looking for.
to the entire board,
I'll just read it.
when you find them.
Don't mean any harm, but didn't we all get a copy of the state board
I don't
account?
get no copy of it.
Yeah, we did. We were just curious to see like what page it was on.
Oh, cause there was a lot on that whole
Right,
report, so,
Yeah, I think we were
Okay.
just, I think we were just curious to see what specific section it came out of.
because I sat in on that audit. Following accurate, current, and complete disclosure of financial results.
33. Page 33.
I thought it
Thank
was.
you.
Uh-huh.
this is for this policy here.
And then we're
Yeah.
actually going into the next policy also that it is referring to. The next policy also addresses it.
Which was on 14.
It's page 33.
Yeah, page 33.
Okay. Yep, I see it. Thank you.
Going to the next one,
Yeah,
7455. And then on that same page of the audit
At a 33?
of 33. So somewhere down the line again, there was a change in capital assets of exactly what we actually record. So we have been recording capital assets at 5,000 and above. Our report, if you turn to the second page, says 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Which this one had not been updated again since 2009. So I'm requesting that we move that number up to 5,000 for our capital assets.
and that's pretty much, that's the only change for this one.
Just out of curiosity, what's the reason for changing the terminology from fixed assets to capital assets?
Because we label it as capital assets. Fixed assets and capital assets technically the same thing.
I figured as much. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Is
Yeah.
that just for clarification? Like that's the language you use internally, so you
Yes.
want it
I can change
consistent?
it back to capital.
No, no, no. I wasn't asking that. I was just curious. Just
Yeah,
as I
that's
read it,
it.
I noticed it. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Sixty-one fifty-two. This is,
Before we move on, same question, I think on all these, where did this document come from?
copy and paste from other districts.
The other districts were Hammond, Munster, and
in ours.
Ours.
So that's Hammond, Munster, Powers.
Thank you.
Ms. Leela, are we addressing page 36? Is that board also? I mean, are we still on
Are you in the
page?
audit?
Yeah,
I'm not.
page 36.
That is pertaining to, the federal wages that comes through the ESSER dollars that we were not, wasn't privileged to have all of those documents at that time.
Yeah, but didn't she say that was a board situation?
No, that's a no, that was not a board situation there.
Okay, well, okay.
That's a federal finding that we should have Davis-Bacon laws. And we did not know anything about Davis-Bacon because we only deal with the state. And the federal is that we need Davis-Bacon.
So this one here is still page 33? Okay.
That's, the prevailing wage law. David Bacon. And then the prevailing wage law. I'm David Baker, non-prevailing wage. Okay, you make this. So the federal. Outside big.
But we don't, but we're not under that though, right?
Yes.
You say
Yes.
we are?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, as long as we had the ESSER dollars.
that's the dollars? Okay.
Yeah.
Anytime we're doing contractual
Yep.
relations, agreements with federal dollars, you have to follow the federal wage. Like gas or like some other taxes, mileage, that when the federal government changes items on ours.
The next one is the 6152. This is actually one that I'm pulling to be adjusted. And on this one, I actually pulled this from another school district because ours is very vague on student fees and charges. So we currently have a problem with returning of Chromebooks, damage of Chromebooks, and collecting fees for them because our clerks sometimes do not send out collection of fees because there is no set policy. So I am looking to adopt a set policy on collecting fees.
Quick question. Are we still using the technology use agreement? I forget what it was called.
Yes, we still use the technology use agreement, but they still don't use it. So just a policy to put in place to let them know for sure that this is what y'all need to go by. And actually, I got this one actually from another school district, that they have more detail in there
Oh,
than we.
this here too? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, but it doesn't, because, you mentioned, like the Chromebooks and all that. Now, is that something that we can just assess a fee, or is that something we want to, like, is that a place for our policies to put how much, like, that cost would be? Or is that in the student handbook? Where would that, or,
The cost is gonna fluctuate.
okay,
But you would have the link. Probably be depreciated with wear and tear.
yeah,
But up to us, after we do this policy, to set how that will be costed out. And
So the agreement itself speaks to it too. I mean, right now, you have a cause of action against them as it exists now. I think the policy tightens it up so that there's a policy that's applicable,
Behind
and
it.
you have an agreement that they entered into with the district that they're gonna agree to accept, this technology, they'll use it, but in the event they don't return it or they damage it, whatever the case may be, here's your recourse. So I think the agreement and the policy would help if you were to sue them.
Okay.
And it's only because I got one particular internet going right now that, the student has had four. Yep, 4 Chromebooks.
Oh, oh.
Do this. We can hold. Till that restitution. Or whatever. I know some places, I know private schools, I'm not sure. Public institutions.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it, but yeah, I can check it.
They used to do that.
Hold what again?
I don't
Hold
think
their
you do that.
transcripts or degrees if they don't pay.
Yep,
Nobody said to me.
No,
They
you
used to
can't-
do that.
No, you can't do that.
Some of the private schools, they can't
But,
understand.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we, yeah, but we ain't, yeah, I don't think you can.
I think
because-
I think it's worth
no, because they
investigating.
have-
Sure,
Yeah,
I'll
Huh?
do that.
yeah.
I think it's worth investigating.
Yeah, you can, but I don't think you can do it though. But you can investigate.
Yeah.
I know when I was in school, you could do it, but.
Or Chromebooks.
It was before Chromebooks.
Right, right.
It was before laptops.
See, I-
yeah, before you graduated, you couldn't, if all your, fees weren't paid, you couldn't get your diploma.
I remember them times too.
And you know, we wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily report it as a book, because right now it's kind of like book rental.
You know,
Yeah.
But
right,
if that's,
right.
if we have the right language, I believe, does, as Ms. does, can become a fee that you can hold. Work out that language, and that's what other districts may be doing.
Well, our Chromebooks, what happened with our Chromebooks? What happened?
We have,
What Patty
I
say?
know we got them, but what would happen with, why we would be charging a fee? Y'all didn't get it back?
I have one, yes, we're not getting them back, and then they come back totally damaged that
Right, but a
they're
lot
not
of-
usable, so, yeah, we could,
I know one time when we was
Assess a
giving
fee.
out the Chromebooks, a lot of the people that had these Chromebooks didn't even live here. They were in Illinois. So that was one thing I know. Well, whatever, they were still
Oh, yeah.
Chromebooks, so I know that was,
yeah,
That-
Yeah, they did, in pawn shops.
and it was a big issue
way before
about
the
these
MacBooks,
Chromebooks.
yeah, yeah. I thought that was amazing, though, that East Chicago was giving out MacBooks, so I thought that was just amazing, but, yeah.
There's no max out track.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were, so they saw them
But they-
overseas
they-
in Mexico and Spain, all over.
yep,
Yeah.
Students got them.
And then they were selling them.
Selling them,
they were doing all kinds of stuff with them.
They went pawn shops also.
yeah.
Mhm.
So this next one is the 6320. I am going to actually present this to,
Is it 63,
Mm-hmm.
6320?
I'm sorry,
Oh, 60.
6325.
Oh,
I'm gonna
52.
present this
Okay,
one.
That's 52?
Huh?
6325.
25.
Yes.
Yes, 25, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Maybe I
You
got
don't
the
have
wrong one.
6325?
I'm over here stapling up everything. Maybe I staple it all together.
No, here, you
Yeah, I
got it.
got, yeah, here it is right here.
Okay, so the 6325, I'm actually going to present this one to make sure I got everything covered under the federal section of the grants and the funds now. So I'm going to present it to our contractor that we're working with our federal programs.
That's Maisie.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
Maisie. Mhm.
Oh, yeah, the one we just approved.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to him beforehand. Yeah. No, we don't want this one on first reading. I just, yeah,
Yeah.
thinking about it as I'm sitting here, I can actually get him to review that to make sure that we're covered in all angles of the federal grants.
Okay.
Okay.
Any question about the policies?
Oh, yeah, this is, this one is,
6325.
So the finance, do we need to end policy and then go into
I
finance?
got it.
Does anybody else have any policy topics or questions they would like to address?
There were some that were brought up at yesterday's meeting. We're probably going to need to review those with Attorney Harris. And
Do you need to glance through it? I know the one policy that I think we can speak on, and I'm sure we do have something in place, but it was the cell phones in the classroom.
Yeah,
Yeah, but do we have something in place for that already? Yeah. Oh,
It's a digital lock,
yeah.
and along with teacher unlock it. They lock, and the teacher, as the teacher can
Unlock it.
unlock, but then go back into that, so. Many of the superintendents that have adopted this technology, they said it doesn't take any time away from checking the student putting it in.
As a
Parents
normal,
that walk through the door, they put it in the bag, and keep walking out. But it has, reduced issues and all those things that caused by.
Social
cell phones,
media.
Kids texting and Instagramming and.
Snapchatting,
all this other
yeah.
kind of Snapchatting during the day, they can't do it with that bag that is in, it's
So it's one of those like bags you take when you go to concerts and they tell you to put it away?
Yep.
Put it in,
It's a
and
lock.
the bags cost, $20. How we can cost it, many of the diamond bags. One bag has asked them to put it in, those, the bags have that type of durability,
Yeah.
but we have to collect at the end of the year,
Yeah,
so.
and then give them back at the start.
Give them back that.
So maybe when I like that, but maybe
But that's
we
part
can,
of the policy, that's not all of it.
Yeah.
We do have.
I think the one thing,
Simple use.
as you were saying that, I think the one thing that we have to look at is students that might have low glucose, that have the continuous monitoring. That might be something we have to add to the policy to say those students can have their cell phones so that they can monitor their sugars.
well,
Yeah, or any other health aspect to their phones.
That's. So, what if they don't have a cell phone? You see, so.
Yeah.
There's ways to monitor that, check.
I was just, yeah, no, I was just,
Yeah, so we'll make sure the policy addresses all of those,
okay.
but, you don't wanna, there, no, not everyone's gonna have that level of
Yeah.
glucose still need monitoring when you have.
Well, I was just saying because I have students that have it at school, you know, and
I know last night at the meeting, didn't they say they was gonna have to do something with this, add something else to this? About
They
the
were
cell
just gonna
phones?
send us
Send
more
something,
information.
about
Yeah.
it? Yeah, 'cause I pulled this off my phone
Which meeting did y'all go to last night?
last night.
it
in
was
the
the
school board.
ISBA
They was
regional
talking, yeah,
spring dinner / legislative update.
Okay.
right, and they gave us some, talking about this legislation here with these cell phones and stuff.
So, we do have a cell phone policy, but I'm not for sure what it says, but I do believe the kids can still have it in their hand.
Yeah.
It's in the student handbook, so it's not a district one?
So we have to add it.
There's a technology district policy also, but we also have a technology policy, no, technology language in the student handbook.
There's several examples of that. Cell phone's one of them, but. Two areas just so it's clear.
Yeah, I would, you said it was Lake Ridge that started? Or,
I think that,
that they're-
Lake Ridge, they may have a part of us, I'm not, Colbert does use it.
oh, Hobart?
Over at Colbert, they do. I will get back, our superintendent meetings,
Yeah.
everybody, we talk about best practice, what works, and what doesn't. I think that the first cause of that was I think they had an issue with trucking, how they were coordinating places where they would.
Yeah.
do what they
I just in yeah, no, in my experience, it's like what 70% of the suspensions happen because of cell phones, because of acts of violence or bullying, and yeah.
There's a study actually on it out of a school out of South Carolina that started it a couple years ago. And they said that the attention rate went up, grades went up. So it's a big study.
I know
out
it
of
did. I
South-
know
I-
it
I
did.
can
South
see it.
Carolina.
I can too.
The kids are on their cell phones yeah.
Yep.
It's a pet peeve of mine.
And yes, I know.
Yeah.
Along with you. In the front side, and it goes from after, we sent that on the lead part where the children were telling the children that were in school, come to the park so we can finish what. Right, but we got in
Yeah.
front of that, and we had no incidents yesterday, because we got in front of it, and it was all because of
The cell phone, yeah,
on the cell phones during school.
yeah.
And it just so happened that the cell phones of a couple of children that had involved in altercation earlier. And they saw the notification.
Yeah, these,
But if they don't have their cell phone during the day, there's no way for them to order this. Someone
Em-
outside.
emailing is too hard. I don't know how you guys would feel, but, you know, when we do, talk about this in the future, I think it would be nice if we had some of, like you said, some of the community schools, if they can just come and, you know, talk to us maybe in a work session. That way we can kind of just polish out the details, ask them follow-up questions, things like that.
I know from my perspective, I'm just curious logistically how it works, and do the students place their phones in the bags themselves?
Yeah, they put it in
Good.
the back.
Yeah, because I'm worried about property damage claims, is why I'm
There's
asking.
no property damage claims. They-
Because they're doing it.
Come through the door, drop it in the bag, and they, out of business. We don't keep the phone or anything like that. They.
Might as well just put it in the locker.
Doesn't, it's sealed, so they can't take it out, number one. Number two, it blocks the signals, so they can't even use it through the bag.
Yeah, it's something to think about, because an iPhone's $1,000 if you had to pay to replace it. I mean, we're talking about expensive.
Then that becomes a huge liability.
Yes,
So
yes.
We're not collecting phones, and that's why the school district out there, they figured out ways to come up with that $25 for that bag.
We
But then
just-
they made it so that that bag is with that student for the duration. And if
Yeah.
they have a cell phone and they lose their bag,
$25.
it's like a bag.
Yeah.
What grade level are the kids bringing their cell phones in? What's, all grade
All
levels?
grade levels.
Even the elementary got cell phones too.
They keep
And-
on getting younger and younger.
Yeah, no.
Babies.
And, so they're gonna have a bag too.
It's just a bag. It's
Yeah,
just
just
a-
saying that,
Thank you.
I know they have them in the high school. I just was, and in the junior high school. But the elementary school, I was just kind of was wondering,
They're doing everything, that's today.
With they. Yeah, no, it's, the other thing that I'm just thinking out loud, the other thing we're gonna have to think of is, if we wanna add in the policy or maybe in the student handbook, what the punishment is. If you turn in, your second phone or a fake phone and you put it in the,
Oh, wow.
in the sleeve.
Thinking hard.
mhm.
Oh,
I didn't even think about that one.
Oh, no, you see it, they have two phones, sometimes three phones.
I didn't
Yeah,
even think about
but
that.
part of that policy will be that if it's not appropriately secured, it will be confiscated.
Yeah, disciplinary, yeah.
Suspension. have framework of disciplinary and behavioral actions in place.
Yeah.
But it's the language that goes into that policy that says that all devices, personal communication devices, and appropriate package or whatever. Have the second one, that covers that. It covers all, because it says all devices.
So what happens with their smartphone? I know I'm thinking way too much into it, but
You're thinking right.
their smartwatches too. Because could they connect that through
No,
Bluetooth or?
there's no signal that
there's
comes
no
out.
signal
It's
out of
coming
the-
from that bag.
Okay, so the watches should be fine.
Yeah, the watches need the phone to.
Not if it has its own cellular.
No, because you could have a separate, yeah,
My watch has a different cell number than my phone.
yeah.
Look at you.
I mean, I didn't do it. That's how they sold it to me. But yeah, but that, just saying, that's what the technology is, that
Yeah,
if
'cause-
you look at your account, some watches are sold with its own phone number. And
Yeah.
you pay, like, it's $25 a
also.
month for the
You-
watch phone
you
number.
ready? You ready for this one too?
What's that?
So Ray-Bans come out with having the cameras in the glasses.
Glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a pair of them, but my vision's too.
No, I just
Say what now? What about glasses?
Ray-Ban has the glass, the cameras in the glasses.
Oh, goodness.
Where do you get those at?
In your glass, that's a camera in Ray-Ban.
Yeah.
Oh, where do you get those at?
on Amazon. I said that because I just ordered some to
Oh, you
play
did?
around with it.
They're $329 a pop.
Yeah, they're a pretty penny.
Can the prescription be put in those glasses?
Yeah, but not my prescription, so I don't know if yours can.
Probably not mine either. Okay, I'll let it go. Okay, move on.
So even bringing that
man.
up, even like Jules said.
But I am gonna look it up.
iPads
see.
can have
How
their
much in
own
glasses?
telephone number also.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to require them to make sure that they're using only our Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Which is
or-
why, that's why I said all personal technology devices. That includes, whatever we determine to be that device goes into the bag.
Whether it's phones, watches,
So,
eyeglasses now.
so the bag is like a.
It's a Ziploc, it's a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
You have to have, like at the store when you put the
So when
tags on your clothes and
yeah, so when the kids come in, well, never mind.
they drop them in the bag.
I'm like almost ready to vote. I'll hold off. I'll hold off.
You're getting excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting through all the logistic. Who opens up the bag? Who makes sure that it blocks? Okay. All right. So
So finance part,
Just one more thing. So I talked to Neola down in New Orleans, and right now we're using ISBA for our policies, but I think there's a sentiment to go back to Neola. I talked to Dr. Dermody, and he's a former superintendent in like 4 different school districts, and he is our representative. He said there's a few options we have, and one is to continue just making changes as we go along like this. But as you can see, we can get behind pretty quickly. The other option is for him to audit our policies. And the third option, he's going to email me some information. He's in Ohio right now. The third option is to just essentially reinvent the entire policy book. So when I get that quote from him, I'll share that with the board.
The reason why I like ISBA is because due to the fact that, I don't know about those other companies in Neola, but I do know that ISBA basically focus on the laws and the policies that's directed within our state. Those IC codes come from, the lobbyists from ISBA when they're down there lobbying for different things and different policies. Those IC codes are created by ISBA. That's the reason why that they created that division. And you can use Neola, but Neola, it should be for something basically like federal. I'm not disagreeing with Trustee Gomez, but I'm just telling him the reason why, because at that time he wasn't on the board when ISBA started to figure out that school districts were having a lot of problems with updating their policies. So, and that's why they have the lobbyists there, because we were behind, because Neola was saying, the federal said this, and the state, and they were focusing on Neola as opposed to the state, which put all the districts behind. So IBS came up with a division just for Indiana State, for the state of Indiana, because that's what they lobby. They lobby education. So you can use both, and you can basically get a whole manual company to do your policies, but are they conducive to your Indiana laws? Do they have the IC codes there? I'm not saying, you can't, but I'm just saying that's the reason why ISBA, because all the public schools were getting cited for all their policies because they were so hard to keep up with. There were so many to keep up with because every year they change. Now, once this code book comes out after session, am I correct, Jewel? Some of those policies will change. Am I correct?
Yeah, the law is always changing and policies always have to be updated, so
Yeah.
it's a never-ending process.
Right. And IBS is always on top of that. That's the reason why they have that division.
I will say, I think the idea of an audit for our policies is a good idea to do occasionally. I don't think it's even a one-time thing that should be done. I think an audit should
Yeah.
be done periodically.
Yeah,
will say
that audit is perfect, but I'm just saying,
As far as the service provider, that's a decision you all as a board
Right.
need to make.
Yeah. No, that's,
What
I mean,
about policies?
I'm along with Trustee
That's what I
Gomez.
was getting ready to say.
Let's go ahead
I was
and just
getting
get
ready.
some options on the table that we can start looking at.
Okay,
Okay, so are we good to move on to the finance section?
You already in, ain't it? Was it just about the finance here?
Well, that was mostly like on the
Policies.
policy side of the finance,
Yes,
but
policies. So the finance section of it is, what I wanted to discuss. We're on the last end.
Yeah, we on this one, right? Okay, go ahead.
we're done with all the policies
College,
now.
right, yeah, okay.
So,
Heard us say finance.
we, are at the last end of the school year. We are also going into a new school year as of July 1st. So at this time, I normally bring the administration, salary up and works in a finance meeting before it actually goes to the board, to the public. So, again, last year was a little difficulties, so I am proposing to do the non-certifieds that's in administration buildings and propose their 3% with their stipend of 700. And then I do believe y'all were trying to come up with a criteria for the administration staff. I don't know what that criteria is, so that would be the next step for the school administrators. Is to separate them out this year because they always were together and we didn't close that out to the, I do believe, the beginning of June, which we were getting ready to start a whole new school year again. Any sections, any thoughts on that?
Measures in place to principals. You can't say that we're going. All that you. But there are evaluation criteria. Success.
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So are we saying that is this situation that we don't have these evaluation tools, or are we saying,
Got the evaluation tools.
okay,
Now, I don't believe that Paul set what that criteria. what someone needs to evaluate that to get grades.
Right.
Now, it's in place for the teachers,
That's
not
what
in
I-
place for the administrators.
And I'd rather handle this in our session than to put it on a memo to bring out in the public session. Separate them out.
I think, sounds like a good idea. You know, as we're, you have something else for the,
That's
Okay.
that's the biggest thing, unless y'all want to talk about something. But I do want to pick a date for the actual big finance meeting,
yeah,
because that is going to be at least a 2 hour. So,
she was gonna look at the date for the finance meeting.
Oh, yeah, you said something like in May.
third is public meeting. Second Tuesday?
That ain't no board meeting, is it?
That's how they run now, the second Tuesday and the third
Yes.
Tuesday? Okay,
So the 23rd is our next meeting.
Yeah, for April.
Yeah,
of April, and then the next meeting after that is
May
the 14th.
14th,
Okay,
and then the 28th.
so can we schedule the finance meeting for the 17th on a Thursday, 16th, I'm sorry, on a Thursday evening?
That's the 16th.
16th.
It's gonna be a work session,
It's gonna
right?
be a work session, a public work session.
Fine with me?
That's at 6, right?
That will be over all of the grants that we have here in the district, and where they're at, how much has been spent, and how much is allowed. Also, with the ESSER, we just filled out one, ESSER report that we had to report to the state. So that will also be presented that night.
Yeah, 'cause it's,
Do we know how much
I got
money is
something.
left in the ESSER?
Around
Dollars?
6 million,
Okay,
yes. So what has not been, added to that first report that went out was the contractor's fee. I had $14 million of contractor's fee that I have added within this last 2 weeks.
$6 million left.
About 6 million
Okay.
left, that's not appropriated,
okay.
totally appropriated out, which will be appropriated out within the next couple months, if not spent. That is mostly, education,
Education.
the 20% that we had to hold back for retention.
So are we reaching out to our building principals and like on that 6 million, or is that, okay,
Yes, that's the next step after we figured out what was, what we were gonna do with the train and the DICOM and the HVAC company. So we're done with that. Now it's reach out about the 6 million. And it can go out to the teachers. Mozzie, Nathan, it's go, Nathan is going to, come up and we're gonna address
Okay.
that.
all right. I was thinking about this with the ESSER funds. It would be nice to, maybe use it to redo some of our playgrounds.
That's part of it.
We've been talking
Okay.
about the playground. Some of the playgrounds are just dangerous. All the things that our children.
Yeah.
So we're looking at those things, we just want to make sure that we work right, so we don't get any part of the reason why. Regular program at the state.
Yes, playgrounds most definitely is. there's two of them that's on the radar right away, particularly Lincoln, and then, okay.
With the, we have some personnel that's, paid by ESSER too, right? Do we know how many people are paid through ESSER? 6? Okay. And have we decided what we're going to do with those 6 people? Are we,
Those 6 people are coming out onto either going into a federal fund or coming back out into the education fund as of July 1st.
They would be under educational fund.
Educational, or if I can find a federal fund to put them up under. But yeah, so July 1st, I'm pulling them out before September the 30th, so we can put them in our budget going into the new year.
okay, so we're, okay, so
Yes.
we're good.
Yes, no, I'm not gonna wait till July, no, December the 30th. No, they're coming out in July.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And we only have 6.
6, two pairs, 2 BFOCs, and 2 directors, I do believe that's all.
I think that was all the ESSER questions from me.
That's got answer.
The, the group that's coming to, like, Mazi or whatever they're called, can we get a report from them on the, basically an audit or whatever, the conditions that we're in right now? And, what he's gonna do to get us out of this situation that we're in? Yeah, okay. That- Good, yeah.
Off the record.
Well, with no other questions or no other comments, then I would assume that we are good for tonight. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you. You know what this is? Direct TV service. The monthly bill.